Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, we're recording. Welcome,
Oh my
Kaylee,
God.
to my really basic Vectorworks tutorial to get all of you guys started.
Thank you so much, Tom.
I do not I'm not a Vectorworks pro in any sense, but over the past 2 years, I've gotten pretty decent at using all the basic functions. And if you know the basic functions, it becomes really easy to use. So I suppose I'm working on 2018's Vectorworks. I think you're all working on 2019 or 2020. But I think most of all the tools are basically the same. I think I played around with 2019 last year with last year's class, and it's pretty much the same. A few little different things, but shouldn't matter. So yeah, when you open it up, you'd open up a blank document to start with, and then with the PDF that Karen put up on that Google Drive link, you would go File, Open, and then wait, no, sorry, it's a PDF. I have to import it. Import PDF. So yeah, and then we go to the PerfSpace 2020 PDF, and we open it, and you just import it. Oh, I'm not sharing my screen.
Do you want to share your screen?
Lol. Okay, yeah, let me fucking cancel that. And oh my God.
Well, surely people know how to do that.
Yeah, I know, lol. Okay. Can you see my screen now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sick. I might just move that toolbar down the bottom. Okay, so yeah, we're in here. We're in a blank document. We've just opened it. It's fresh. So you go up here to File, and you go down to Import, and then you just scroll down to PDF, hit that, and then you'll just select it from your desktop or your downloads or wherever you have it, and you open it. Import. So it's in Vectorworks now, which is a start. Fuck. Is it okay? Oh, it's okay if I swear. Karen swears. Doesn't matter. So yeah, so we're in. Let me just zoom out a little bit. So a problem we have now is that we've got a landscape document in a portrait file mode, and it's really big. So let me just change that. Page setup.
Just gonna see what mine looks like.
So yeah, we're in page setup, and then you go to printer setup, and you change it from portrait to landscape, and then the paper size, it's best to change it to A3. It's not best to change it to A3. You have to change it to A3 actually. So we do that, and now you'll see that grid in the background is now perfectly in line with the PDF we have. Oh, not perfect, but basically, same. But that doesn't really matter. That's okay. Actually, this will bother me. You see these two little cross stitch things here on my document? So one's the center of the PDF and one's the center of the page. So I'm just going to drag the PDF down to the center so they're in line. So yeah, now we've got a working PDF. Now, if I were to now go over here to the tool sets where the lighting instruments are, and I were to select a lighting instrument and then go up here to select an instrument symbol, let's pick a source 4. Why not? Love a source 4. So you select that source 4 and you go to put it on the page, and you'll notice that it's literally giant. That's a problem. So what we need to do then, we've got a new participant. Oh my God. Where is my, here it is. Hi,
Hello.
James.
Hello, how are we going?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, good.
Very good. We were just starting a little tutorial. So I suppose you can watch the start of the video. I'm recording it, by the way, for everyone in your class, but you can watch the first 2 minutes. So yeah, let me just So yeah, we've got this giant bloody source 4 on the page. That's not going to do anyone any favors. So let's just delete that. And what we do next is we go up here to this little like layer scale thing. So you click on that little like ruler up there and it opens this for you. And then you'll notice on the PDF, it says 1 to 50 at A3 scale. So that means that the document should be set at a 1 to 50 scale. And that way all the like lighting instruments won't appear as like giant like things on the page. They'll appear as how they should in relation to the rest of the drawing. So if I select 1 at 50 and change that, now what you can do is select this and like resize the PDF. Also, when you like resize things on Vectorworks, if you don't hold down Shift, it'll like do that and then look really warped. So what you do is you like click on one side and you hold Shift and it'll like lock it in place as the same like size it should have been when it was small to when it was big. So we'll just pull that out again. And now we've got the same drawing back. And now if I were to pick up a source 4, it would be the proper size. So let's just chuck that in there. It's just floating in space. Doesn't really matter. So with what's next, I guess. Oh, it's really good to change. I never know where it is in the toolbar. So I always just go over to help and I just type in unit and you get to it's in document settings. And then you go to units and you change it from millimeters to meters. That's just like good practice. So when you're like making rectangles or lines, it'll tell you what it is in meters instead of millimeters. And that's just easier to work with. So we'll change that to there. So the next thing that I'd say is, let's just like play around with the lighting instrument. So yeah, I've got a source 4 selected now and you just do that. You can, once you click it, it like locks into place there and then you can swing it around and then click again and assign what like position it's going to go to. I have the lock tool on, so like it'll lock at 90, 180, 270 and 360, which is nice. Say if you're doing like a direct like downlight or like a facial from like LX1 up to the back wall. So it'll just lock in place and do that. Let's also, yeah, I suppose with lighting instruments, going into here, good things to know what to search for are source 4s, obviously. So you just type in source 4 and find your source 4s. I use that one. Say you're using par cans. Oh, I think it's par 150. No, definitely not. Just type in par. And then you'll get a lot of results when you type in those really generic terms. There's usually one, it's probably like right at the top. Here we go, par 64. That's what you should search, par 64. So we've got a par can. We'll just chuck that in there and we'll, I don't know, we'll put it that way. Why not? Let's do, what else is good to know? Rama. So that's just a regular old run-of-the-mill Rama. And then we could do a 1.2K, which is another type of Rama. It's just a nicer, newer version. So oh no, you don't type in silicon, you type in Fresnel. So it's like a Rama Fresnel. And where's the silicon one? Probably right up there we go. Silicon 1.2K. So just chuck that in. Maybe can claim. So you'll use this to signify like one of those small PC acclaims, like the 650 watt ones. And then I think one of the profiler claims, yeah, you do this, and there's the 18 to 34 degree and the 24 to 42 maybe? I don't know. It's not showing. Let's just chuck one in. And then what other instruments does UOW have? For hex bar, I usually just type in hex and find. So we have 4 that look like this, the newer versions. And then we've got 6 that look like, might type in fusion, it might come up with fusion. No. Let's just do hex. I'm sure it's there. It's not, lol. Maybe just bar. I'm just being particular because these are the ones I've always worked with. So I always just like to use them. But really, like at the end of the day, when you're doing a drawing, as long as you like denote what symbol it is in the key, like it doesn't really matter what you use. It's best to use something that is accurate, but like say if you're looking for this particular hex bar and you can't find it, you can just pick this and use that. And then in your key, just say, this is what it is. And then Karen will know what you mean, but it is best to find the proper one. And then we have these nice new like LED like par cans. They're the par 150. And then we just have like regular old LED cans. They're not going to show up. Maybe like LED, that'll show up. There's going to be a lot of results.
So these are like naturally in the application?
Yeah. Vectorworks downloads like heaps of different like companies lighting fixtures. So it's like very universal. And then I think it might not come with some, but I'm pretty sure you can like download extra packages. But like for UOW, everything we need is in the basic application. Where the heck is this? I mean, it doesn't really matter, like I said, but I'm just being particular now. Maybe it's not even here. Oh, there's so many results. I'm just going to jump to the top because I feel like I might be up the top. Maybe it isn't, lol. What should I search for? Maybe just can. Oh, there's even more results. Oh, there's the other hex bar I wanted to use. Sometimes you'll get this message when you try and use certain fixtures, but just like click OK and ignore it. We'll do that. Okay. Maybe it's like, here we go, a generic LED path. So we'll just chuck that in. I can't really think of much else. Oh, I suppose we have 2 movers. They're a bit old and crummy, but I think they're one. No, what are they? Are they Encores? No, maybe just let's just type mover and see what we can find. I'll know it when I see it. But like, yeah, you could use any of these. Let's just use this. This is definitely not correct though, but doesn't matter.
It's called the Mac 250.
The Mac 250. Thank you, James. Let me look for that. So yeah, we have 2 of these. One's really old and like the bulb is broken, but the other one works okay. So we'll just chuck that in. So yeah, those are like the basic sort of fixtures that we have at UOW. Also, a good thing to remember is when you import your PDF and get it to the right size and get the ruler to like 1 to 50, you can just select it and then right click and then go down to lock and lock it. So like that way, if maybe you're trying to select something, or like say if it wasn't locked, if it was unlocked and I went to like move something, I could accidentally grab the PDF and move that, and no one wants that. So it's best just to lock that. And then, yeah, and then like if you go and drag something, you'll likely get the light, which is a lot better, more efficient. I suppose the next thing is, yeah, when you're working with a PDF, it is kind of a bit annoying because when you want to like place something on the grid, you typically try and get like that red center point of the light on the grid. But when it's a PDF, it doesn't lock on. So like I can place everything here, but it doesn't really, like it's always a bit off. So what I do if I'm ever working with a PDF is you just select the line tool up in the basic tools. So you grab this line and you start drawing from here and just drag it along. It's got a snap function as well, so it'll just draw a straight line, but if you pull it around, you can make like a line at any angle. And then if you like hit shift again, it'll snap back to like perfectly horizontal or perfectly vertical. So we'll just run that line that way. And then down here, you can change like the type of line you have. You can make it solid, you can make it patterned, and you can make it like a dotted line. For this purpose, we'll just keep it solid. And you can set the thickness. So everything always comes out at 0.05 thickness, which is really thin. It doesn't really matter because we're working with a PDF and we've already got that nice thick line. But say you were like trying to draw your own line and you wanted it to come up nice on your PDF when you export it, you'd probably want to make the line a bit thicker. So let's just make that 0.25. Why not? It doesn't really matter though for this purpose. Now you'll see that the line is like running through the light. And that just looks awful. So what you can do is select a light, hit Command and F, and that means like Command front. So that'll bring that fixture to the front of the page, and it'll like hide the line behind the fixture, and it just looks a lot nicer. And if you want to select multiple things at once, you hit that, and then you press Shift and hit other fixtures, and so you can select certain like a heap of things at the same time, and just Command F, and then beautiful. It's all in front. And now, let's say we bring this back here. If we wanted to get this like straight on the line, it'll snap. Like it doesn't snap over here where we don't have a line, but it'll snap up here where we've drawn that line over the PDF. So that's just a nice way to ensure that everything's like really like just clean and symmetrical. So yeah, I might just quickly do that for everything. Why not? This is a bit of a rush job, but I always try and take a bit more time when I'm actually doing it. It can be quite therapeutic drawing in Vectorworks. I've already got one there. Also, yeah, if you've gone to draw a line or like put a fixture in, you can hit escape and it'll just like yeet away because you're like, oh, I don't want that. And that's always handy if you're just about to make a mistake. So now we've got lines in all of that. Oh, let me put some down here. I'm not sure if Kaz got to take you guys. Did Kaz take you guys into the perf space and like show you LX bars and stuff? That's good, yeah. So we've got LX1 down the bottom, LX2, LX3, LX4, LX5, LX6. Currently there's like a big truss hanging here, but like I wouldn't use that in any of the designs really. Like it's there to like hang a curtain off of if you were doing like an in the round thing, so it doesn't really matter. Oh, this right here, this is fun. So this like blue line here is like a measurement thing that I put in. So like it's really handy, say if you're like drawing in your like top wash of your ramen. So let's just select a rama. So yeah, let's get a rama. Now, because it's a PDF, it doesn't snap like we just discussed with the lines of the lighting bars, but it's still a pretty good tool to use. So say you're doing like a regular sort of out, like a layout. So the seating bank's out, the seating bank would be out. Let me draw that in maybe. So let's select the rectangle tool and just go from the bottom down here. And the seating bank, from memory, the seating bank comes out to about here. I might be able to find you guys an old drawing with it out though, and you can get a better like scope of where it is. So yeah, now we've drawn this big fat rectangle in here. Currently, like the fill of the rectangle, as you can see over here, is solid. So what I do is just take out the solidity. So then it's just like a line of a rectangle and not like an actual like rectangle. So yeah, now we've got the outline of the seating bank. And then down here, let's just make the thickness 0.25. And then because we want to just sort of denote that there's an object there, but it doesn't really like matter to the actual lighting plan, what we can do is go into like the line type and change it to the dotted line. And that'll just make it a dotted line. And we might lock this, just get it out of the way. So yeah, let's say we were drawing like our top wash in on LX3, and you'd have 4 ramas on LX3, LX4, LX5, and LX6 sort of evenly spaced to get a nice clean top wash. So the bars in the perf space are roughly about like 12 meters long. So I would probably go from the center line of the room, which is this red line here, and then maybe go out like to 150. And then you just sort of, it's not perfect, but you can like sort of, oh, it's actually honestly not bad. So you just do that. And then you do another one on the other side at minus 150, about there. Yeah, that's good. And then, so now there's 3 meters of space in between those lights. So what you would do here is go from 150 to 450. And now you do the same on the other side. And now you've got a really nice, even top wash on LX3. Could be better with the actual file, which I'll try and, I've got a file here of the actual perf space drawing, and it's like lines, and I might try and email that to you, Kaylee. I've had problems in the past with emailing Vectorworks files though, so it might not work, but we'll see if that works, because then like a lot of this tutorial will be sort of moot because things would be a lot easier on the actual Vectorworks file. So we've drawn in those 4 lamps on LX3. Now, you know what I hate? Like when you have like 20 of the same light in this grid pattern, you don't want to have to draw in every single one. So what I like to do is just get the like mouse tool, and then you select this, hold shift, select the next one, select the next one, select the next one. And then you go Command C, which is copy, Command V, which is paste. And then you'll get those 4 lamps pasted onto the page, like in the exact same configuration, but it'll probably just like pop out on a different point on the page, but that's fine. So then what I would do would be to drag the lamps over to where they are on LX3, and then you can drag them again. And usually you'll have the snap tool work in your favor, and like you can sort of follow it exactly where it is up to the next bar. And because we put that line on LX4 on the PDF, it'll snap on there. If that doesn't happen and say you can't get it to snap, if you're over here, you can just press shift and it will snap for you. So that's always a good handy trick to have. And then we'll just do the exact same and copy them again and bring the lamps over to where they are, and then pull them back to LX5, and then rinse and repeat for LX6. Or was that a bit off? And then, very good. And I might delete all of these extra lamps. But yeah, so the beauty of Vectorworks is like you really only have to do something nice once, and then you can copy and paste it a lot, at least for like, you know, your facials and your like top wash and your side wash. And that can just speed up the process and make it a lot nicer, like and a lot quicker. What's next? Oh, I know what we can do next. So something that's really important, I'm just going to move you guys out of the way. I need to be able to see this right-hand side. So I can never find it once again in the toolbar. So I just go over to help and I type object info, and it's a palette. And you get it up and it'll pop up over here. Now, object info is basically whenever you select like anything on your page. So like I could select one of these lines on the lighting bar and it would show up and say like this is a line, the length is 10.58 meters, like the degree is 0. On the x-axis, it's minus 8.04. On the y-axis, it's 4.98. And then you can select the light, and you can just let it load quickly, be a bit slow. Is it gonna load? Hello? Okay, maybe let's try and just put in another light. Yeah, sometimes Vectorworks is like sort of choppy. You just gotta be patient with it. Out there. Do that. And then try and select that. Come on. Maybe it's in data. No, it's not in data. It should be in shape. Okay, well that's fun. Anyway, like the line shows up with this little basic information. When you select a light, typically it should come up with like all of this information you need. It might come up later on in this tutorial, hopefully. But no worry, what you can do is you can like double click on a light and get up all of its like information. So there's all this stuff that you can like attribute to it. And like, say if you're working in the professional world, you actually need to put in basically all of this information. Like with big lighting rigs in big theaters, it's good to like have basically all of this in there so the lighting text can like do exactly what the lighting designer wants. But for the purpose of UOW, really all that's important is channel and color and the legend. So legends are really important because it helps you create like symbols to like mark out what the lights are and what the lights are doing and what colors in the light and what channel it is. So let's just say this Rama, I think what Rama did I select? Let's say it's channel 9, and we'll get back to that later. So it's channel 9. So now it's channel 9, but it's not showing up on the page or anything. And let's put a color in it. Let's say it's, I don't know, Lee 201. And you'll see there when you type out the colors, like the little square here will change. And you can come in here and like select like all these like different lighting filters and like just find exactly what you want. Where at UOW, we work mainly with Lee and Roscoe, specifically Lee. So you can just pick the Lee swatch book and come in here and look at all these pretty colors. But yeah, let's just select Lee 201. So yeah, now this light is now channel 9 and it's got Lee 201 in it, but that's not showing up on the light. So what we now need to do is create a label legend. So you go up here into Spotlight and you come to Label Legend and you go to Label Legend Manager and you open this and you'll see here that there are no label legends. So what you do is you click Add, and now we're going to make one. So you usually just call it 1, and then here are the attributes. So you can assign different attributes to show up on the light when you want to assign this label legend to it. For the purpose of UOW, we just do color and channel. So you select those over there. You want to use color and channel. And then for the channel, you want a container type. So you just click circle for the container type. And then all of this isn't really important. We can change it later. So you just hit OK. And now we've got this number 1 label legend. So we go here. And before you can use it, you need to edit the layout. So that'll take you to like a new window in the same document, really. And like this is just like a test fixture, basically. And here's all your information. So I'm just going to do also, if you like click and drag, you can select everything. But sometimes when you're in an actual document, that doesn't work. So I just hold down Shift to do that. And so we bring that all over here. Let's just bring it a bit closer. Let's select the color. Might just try and find the center of the light. So yeah, now the color is in the center and you want to bring it up to the top of the light. And then we've got our channel and we've got a container for the channel. So like when it comes up on the drawing, it'll have this big circle around it and just make it like really clear that it's that channel number. So what you do is, well, what I do is like try and find the center of the light down the bottom and pull it down a bit more. Now this circle is really tiny and like, well, a lot of designers actually will like have a really tiny circle in the real world and then you'll be like in the theater looking at the plan and like literally squinting, like, what the fuck is that? I can't read it. So something that Karen's always taught me is to make the channel number especially like really big and clear. So when the lighting techs are like channeling everything at the dimmer rack, they know exactly what they're doing. When like the lighting designers at the plotting desk and everything's dark and they've got a tiny little light on, they can look at the plan and clearly know what channel they want to bring up, and they don't have to be fucking squinting to figure out what they're doing. So, oh yeah, I should probably explain this. So yeah, we've got this tiny little circle. So just double click on it and it should, hopefully in your version, it gives you this option, but yeah, it should let you edit the symbol, and you want to edit the 2D component. We don't even want to think about 3D components. So you just do 2D component and hit edit. And you've got this tiny little circle. So now you just click one side and make it a little bit bigger. We're gonna make it really gross and oval, but we'll hit shift so it snaps. And now we've got this nice bigger circle. And then, yeah, you'll see that it like it's no longer on the YX axis in the middle. So you want to pull the center of the circle back to the center of the XY axis and then exit the symbol. And now you'll see the circle's really big under the light. So you just pull that down a bit, hold shift. So can you guys hear me all right? It's raining pretty badly here. Okay, cool. So yeah, we pull the circle down, and now we grab the channel and we bring that and smack it right bang here in the middle of the circle. We can make it a bit bigger. So just go up here to text, to size. Let's make it 10. That'll be good. Maybe not 10, maybe 9. Okay, and let's bold it just so it's nice and big and in your face. Yeah. So now we've assigned our attributes to our label legend, and now the label legend's nice and like orderly and clean, and the circle's big and the color's there. It's all beautiful. It's perfect. Okay, so let's exit the symbol, and now, like if we were to go to label legends and we went to the label legend manager, we'd have that one there, and it's all properly nice and edited and clean and smooth. So we're done there. So now you could select a light, and you could right click and come down to assign legend to instruments, and it'll pop up here, and we can just select one which we've just made. And when I hit enter, all that info is going to pop up on the light. So now we know that this light is channel 9 and the color in it is Lee 201. And now let's just quickly, so here's a fun little feature. So yeah, when I'm on the main page, like I was saying before when we were in the label legend, when you just click and try and pull, nothing happens. But if you click on it, if you hit shift and then click, it'll let you select a heap of things. So what you can do is select all the lighting fixtures. Now, be careful not to like go over and select like lines that we've drawn for the lighting bars or other things on the plan. So you just select those lights. I'll deselect this source 4 by hitting shift and clicking it, so it'll deselect. And then I can right click. Can I? Hello? Actually, no. Spotlight, label legends. So go up to here to assign legend to instruments and hit 1, and then they should all get it. And now, oh, that's really annoying. I wish it would show up on the side in object info. Oh, it might be here. Hello? Oh my God, this sucks. Okay. Let me try and, why is it not working? That's so strange. Anyway, usually up here you get all of the information you see here, but here, and you could like select every single light and then go down to the color and say Lee 201, and then all of your fixtures will have Lee 201 in them. So, but you'll notice if I select all of these and then try and like, let's just select these random ones, and then if I tried to give all of them Lee 201, it would just happen to that one that I selected first, which is really annoying. But that doesn't really matter. That's okay. Let's just quickly make this one Lee 201 as well. And I just noticed that when you like select it from the filters, it'll have that hyphen, but I usually get rid of it. So yeah, let's say both these lights are channel 9. Like they're both on the same channel. They always get brought up at the same time. It's easy just to put them on the same channel. No hassles. Doesn't matter. Something that I've learned recently, actually, that's really nice and can make the drawing a bit cleaner and a bit simpler is you can go over into these tool sets and come down to ganging. And I've selected ganging, and now I'll hit this light, and I'll hit this light, and then I'll come up here, and that'll happen. Now you can see the outline of like sort of a linking, a ganging of sorts between the lights, but we can't see it. And that's because when you create like ganged symbols like this, they come up at the back of the page. So if you hit Command F, it'll bring it to the front and you can see it. And now these two lights that are both channel 9 are linked together. And the line of the ganging is in front of the light. So we'll just select the lights and hit Command F and bring those to the front. And now it looks nice and clean and proper. So yeah, that's basically all you need to know about label legends. And yeah, those are like the really basics of like putting lights into your drawing and like giving them channel numbers and giving them colors. A good thing to know is that I'm just going to hop up some random crap on the bars. Let's just do some source 4s. I hope when you guys are drawing, you don't do stuff like this. You should always try and follow this like blue little marking and make it clean. So yeah, you'd usually do a light like right in the center. And then you do one like 1.5 meters out. And then one 3 meters out, you know. And then what else is really helpful is like, if you're probably doing this really cleanly, you could like select these 3 and copy and paste them. And then bring this one over to here. And then it's like perfectly in line. And then you can just do that again. That one at the end's floating in midair. And then you can always delete the extra one you've made like along the line. So like this is a really basic like design. So let's just select all of these lights and assign a legend to them. So yeah, a really important thing to remember when you're channeling your light, so that's like giving it the channel number. You always start from the bottom of the page and on the right. So on prompt side. So you always start like downstage prompt and work your way upstage off prompt. So that would mean like this light would be, so like this light here would be channel number 1, this would be 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then these would be 13, or if you're doing them individually, like that would be 13, that would be 14, that would be 15, and so on. So yeah, you work your way from prompt to OP and then downstage to upstage. Like that's the general sort of industry accepted way of channeling your lights. What else? Maybe let's just chuck in, I'll show you some like ways to do like simple sort of symbolic markings on your plan. So let's say we've got this source 4 here and it's like a spotlight, like a direct downlight spotlight. So it's just this tight circle where someone will stand in a performance. So you'll draw in your source 4 here and we'll assign a legend to it. So we've got that there. Also, I should explain, if you put in a light this way, that typically means it's shooting up, like it's shooting up stage in the perf space. So it's like shooting up that way. If you put a light this way, that means it's like shooting that way. But if you put a light this way, that typically means it's a top light and it's shooting directly down. And so that's why I've drawn all of these ramas as that angle, so they're a top light, so they're shooting straight down. And that's why I've drawn all of these source 4s shooting that way because they're facials and they're like shooting into the playing space. So yeah, we've got this source 4 here, which is a down light, a top light, a spotlight. I rhyme like Dr. Seuss, that's fun. So yeah, we've got this here. And then a good way to denote that it's a spotlight is to come over here into your basic tool sets, select the circle tool, bring it over here, find the center of that lamp like locked onto the bar, hit your left click and then pull out a circle. And then I think the length is the radius. Yeah, it is the radius. So the diameter of this circle would be just over 1 meter. So that's a nice spotlight, like size. Just like the outline of the seating bank, it comes up as a solid shape. So you just go none over here in the fill and you get this nice outline. And then we want to make it a bit thicker so you can see it on a PDF. I also like to, where is it? Where'd it go? Oh, no, here we go. I like to make it a line type and then color code it. It's nice when you're, so like say you have 4 spotlights, it's nice to color code them like in blue. So Karen knows they're a spotlight. And then if you've got like furniture or set pieces you need to show, you can like draw an outline of them in a different color. And then let's just say a good way. So then we go over here and we select the text and you come in here. I'm just going to do it in caps and let's, I don't know, this is Kaylee's performing. So this is Kaylee's special. So you write that. I'm just going to bold it and change the color to blue. So now we've got this sort of like symbolism going here. So we know that this light, oh, and also the text will always have like a solid background to it. So you just take that away. So now we've got like a label denoting that this light is the Kaylee special. And we've got this circle like showing that it's like a direct downlight spotlight on Kaylee. So that's a good way to sort of denote what lights are doing. Let's say we've got a, I don't know. Let's say we've got an Acclaim doing something special. And let's say it's like shooting up here and we've got like, I don't know, a chair up here where someone sits. So you could just do this. This is pretty, you don't really need to get particular, but I like to make it look somewhat like a chair from bird's eye view. But yeah, we've got this chair up here. And also you can select multiple shapes with the shift function and hit Command G and that'll group all of those things together. So now we've got like a grouped 2 shapes that look like a chair. Well, not really, but you know, I'm feeling the fantasy. And then we go down to thickness of line and we hit 0.25. And then let's make it a line type and let's change the color to red. Why not? Oh, that looks a bit strange in the line type. Lol. Maybe we'll just make it a solid line. Doesn't really matter. And yeah, we've got this Acclaim and it's shooting up here and it's focused in a fun way and maybe it has a gobo in it or something and it looks really cool. So what you would do is, well, what I usually do is just like copy paste other labels I've already made and drag it down here. And then maybe James is sitting in the chair. So then we do that and then we change the color to red, yada, yada, yada. So yeah, now we know that this Acclaim here is shooting up to this chair and it's hitting James on the chair and it's the James special. And like little stuff like that's always really helpful when you're like plotting it and when you're looking at the design to know what that light's doing, where it's hitting. So another good thing to know is like so the perf space has 60 lighting channels like on the dimmer rack. So the dimmer rack has 12 channels to it and we've got 5 of them. So all of your conventional lights like your Ramas and your Source 4s, like all of these ones that I have up here are conventionals. I suppose it'll be easy for me to show which ones are like LED intelligent lights that aren't conventionals. So yeah, we've just got this generic LED cam. We'll chuck it over here. We've got that 150 par somewhere. And then we've got our mover. And we've got our 2 types of hex bars. Lol. So yeah, these are your, in general, these are your intelligent lights over here, and then everything else that you're using should be conventional. So all those conventional lights like these ones will be channeled 1 to 60. And like if you're channeling your drawing and you've still got like 10 lights left and you get up to channel 60, it's then your like job to either cut lights to get it down to 60 or like group up lights like this that make sense to group up so you can get the channels down to 60. If it's over 60, that means you're not drawing your lighting design like taking into consideration the like tech specs of the perf space. And that would be like a big no-no, I suppose. And then with these intelligent lights that I've got over here, like let's just drag this 150 LED par on. And then a good tool to know as well is, oh no, I thought we had a new participant, but we don't. So yeah, a good tool to know is if you've got a light selected, you can Command L. Oh, can I? I should be able to do that. Command L, and it'll rotate the light 90 degrees. That'll always hit the center, like take the center off where it should be, but that's okay. We'll just drag that back there. This is just a boring old LED light hitting the back wall, doing nothing. Let's assign it, I don't know. So yeah, because this is a intelligent fixture, we won't channel it from 1 to 60. We'll channel it, I don't know, starting 70. So we'll just select this and make it channel 70. And then with color, like you can usually just leave it blank when you're using intelligent lights. I usually write something like RGB just to denote that it's an intelligent light with like different color diodes. I think this particular par has like 10 different colors in it or 10 different channels, but I just say RGB. You can say RGB, white, amber, UV if it's a hex bar with 6 channels, or like RGBW if it's a 4-channel hex bar. It doesn't really matter. I might actually say RGBW for this one. But yeah, so this will now have channel 70 and it'll have RGBW there. So when Karen's looking at it, she'll go, oh, it's channel 70 and it's an intelligent light and it's an LED light. It does different colors. Are there any other like fixtures you could, I suppose it's good to know if the show you're working on was using haze, you could type in something like, maybe fog and get up different fog machines, or type in hazer and get up, oh no, there's no symbols for that, or get up a haze generator. The one I like to use is usually a fog machine, like one of these ones, because our unique hazer looks kind of like this. So I just use this one. And then you'd like chuck it over here in the back corner and shoot it out this way. Or like maybe the show you're working on has a projector. So you come in here and type projector and find a projector and just like chuck one of these in and like chuck it on oh, that's tiny. We would not use a projector that small for a UAW show. I think this is a bit bigger. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. So yeah, that's there and it's hitting the back wall. And it's always good when you're doing symbols like that to denote that it's a hazer or a projector. I might just use the text function. Just chuck that there. And always, I usually get rid of the solid fill of the text, then come over here and just put hazer. Hazer does have a channel though, actually. So it's good to chuck in a label legend. You can get really fancy with a hazer because most hazers have 2 channels. So you could like draw in an extra circle and like say 100 and 101, but like we don't have to get that particular. Let's just say 100. So that's channel 100. So also, yeah, over here, it's always, when you're doing your drawing, it's good to like, let's say this is, lol. So yeah, it's always good to like denote what show you're doing and what day it is. The 29th, I think. Yeah. Oh no, it's the 30th. Lol. Oh my god, pinch and a punch for the last day of the month. Sorry, I'm like a
That
crack.
is not how it goes.
Isn't it?
It's first day of the month.
No, but you can do it for the last day of the month.
No, you can't. Back off.
Absolutely can, Kaylee.
Nah.
You must have had a different upbringing to me. Then.
Yeah, we tried to limit the amount of times we punched each other.
Yeah, we got really trigger happy, so we were like, "Oh, you can do it. Like,
You can do midway through as
you
well.
can do midway. You can do the end of the month." So yeah, you should do the show you're working on, the date that you've drawn it, your name. You could even like, go over this and make your own little box and like make it your own. Like, doesn't really matter. Who cares? Also, feel free to get rid of my name. Usually people, well, like in the industry, if you draw a plane, you usually put your name on it. But like, honestly, just get rid of me. So, yeah,
Also, did you see James's question on there?
I did not. Is there? Oh my god, there's
a chat.
How would you do side lighting from ground level, like on the stage, having lights sit on booms with them pointing? Thank you, James. Oh my god, I totally would have forgotten about this. Okay. So yeah. So typically, if you're gonna have lights on the floor, the two ways you can do that is either on a H stand or on a boom. There are some LED lights with like two yokes where you can like pull them out and like they can sit by themselves, but you can just like denote that in your notes on the side of the drawing. So yeah, if I were drawing a boom, I would usually do something like this. Let's say the boom is like 2 meters long. Actually, no. Most of the time when I'm drawing a boom, I don't actually make it the length it is. And like, you can just say how high it is, like with text. So I might just make it this high. And then we'll do like the base of the boom. And we'll bring that midpoint of the small line to the bottom. So now it looks like a big pole, like on a platform. We'll select those, Command G, and group them together. We'll make them a bit thicker than 0.25. Let's make them 0.5. And then literally all I do is like write boom. You can get really fancy. Say if you've got like 10 booms, you can get fancy and like denote boom 1, boom 2, boom 3. That's actually really helpful. Like when you're plotting a show and the designer's like, I want that light on that boom up, and you're like, what light on what boom? Can you be more specific? And they can say, oh, I mean boom 3, and then you know what they're talking about. But I don't usually do that. But like this is a nice, simple little, let's just group that together again. So that's all grouped. And then say you want to put some lights on. Let's put some park hands on. Why not? Let's have some fun. R150, I think. No, par 64. God, I'm fried. So yeah, and now it'll snap onto the line of the boom. So you can hit that. And then like, if it's a side light, you can do that. Things usually are a side light when they're on the boom. So yeah, now you've got these park hands on a boom on the side. And like, you can usually just tuck them in. Let me just select all of that. Oh my gosh, it's giving me grief. So yeah, you can just chuck these up here. Sometimes these like markings of what LX bars are in the way, that can get annoying. Honestly, I don't know how Karen feels about it, but like, I wouldn't be opposed to just like going over them, honestly. Like you can just pretend like they're not even there. Maybe that isn't great practice, but like, I don't really care. So now what we could do is just like bring this to the front. So like, yeah, now we've got this ugly rectangle here. We can just lock it so it doesn't move. And that's annoying when you're on the Vectorworks program, but when you like export the PDF, it'll look nice. It'll look nice and professional. Also, yeah, sometimes when you go to copy things and you've accidentally selected like the actual PDF, that'll copy as well. Just like hit undo and like redo it. So yeah, like with the grid of the ramas before, I'll always put the boom, say if you have two on the same side, you'll put it on the same exact point and then hit shift and drag it down so it's like perfectly in line. And then you can, let's just assign some instruments to it. And if you want to get really particular, you could like type in plus 1.5. So like when Karen's looking at that, she knows exactly where that light is, like how high it is up on the boom. I don't really do that because like that's a bit extra, but like maybe ask her if she wants you guys to do that. I've worked with her a bit in the world and she does that on her plans and it's helpful for the text, but yeah, just get her opinion on it. So yeah, that's how you do a boom. Let's do some H stands on the other side. Or maybe let's do some H stands down here near the seating bank. So literally the easiest way to make a H stand is either by getting text and typing a H and making it really big. Well, bigger than that. So you can do that. So like that's one way to do a H stand because like that's what a H stand is. It's literally just the fucking letter H. And then we could put a little baby acclaimer or something. Like that. And chuck that on there. And then you've got a H stand. And then but sometimes you'll find that like the H isn't wide enough for a light. So sometimes I just like concede and fucking, you know, make a thick H. So yeah, we can select all of these and make them solid in the middle and change the color to black. And then group them all. So now we've got this nice thicker H. And then drag the acclaim over here to the center. Well, that's not the center. I fucked this up. Let me fix this. Oh yeah, also, if you need to like edit a grouped like pair of like shapes or symbols or whatever, you can double click it and it'll like come up in its own little universe. So I'll just select that and drag, oh no, I don't want everything. Lol. So we'll just select that and bring that over there. So now the center of this shape is like clean and nice and once again, professional. So yeah, that looks a lot better if we just bring that to the front. Like that looks way better. So yeah, you use one of them for a H stand. And then like obviously that's a H stand when you're looking at it, but like over in the key, which we'll get to in a second, like you would just put that, you'd put the little H symbol there and say it's a H stand. So then when Karen's looking at it, she knows 100% that it's a H stand. So yeah, those are how you would draw a H stand or a boom. To like draw lights on the floor. What's next? I don't know. This is pretty much everything. I might just get rid of these and then I'll make a really basic. Okay, so like something that's really important with the drawing is the key. So the key is basically like, it's a key. It's telling you what everything is on the side of the drawing. They're very useful and like they're the way you tell Karen what you're doing and what means what. Like without one, the drawing's basically gibberish, like it's hieroglyphics. So like I'll just do I'm going to make one myself because it's always better to just make one from scratch and like make it clean and like clear and simple. But you can actually come into the tool sets and scroll down and find instrument summary. I think it's instrument summary. Yeah. The instrument summary too. And we can select that. I can't even see it. Yeah, let's just, I don't know. So yeah, we can create this instrument. Oh no, I want that to stay like that. Thank you. Oh, I don't want to. So yeah, we've got this big, thick instrument summary. Now, these are, well, like, you can, when I had that window up just before, you can like select what you want from it and like make it proper, but it always comes out looking quite like messy and like, it's just very like, yeah, it's just very not nice. Like it's a computer generated key. But it'll like sort of, yeah, it'll show you everything that you sort of used or like had on the page at one point. And then the really good thing about it actually is the color summary. So that'll like sort of tell you like what colors you're using and what sizes. So we know that we're using this 201 in the 3 ramas, but like in an actual drawing, it would have been in all 16. And like it says RGBW for that LED par we put on, but it doesn't know what that is. So it just sort of says, I don't know. But yeah, so you can use that, but it's like a really lazy way of doing it. So I always just like to make one myself. You can get really, I'll show you an example of like a nicer one in a minute, but like we'll just like really quickly do one up. So this will all make sense in a second. So now so what did we use? We used, so we've used 5, 12, we used 13 source 4s, we used 12 ramas, we used 6 par 64s, we used 1 par 150 zoom, we used 1 axle acclaim profile, we used 1 projector, 1 hazer, and 1 650 PC acclaim. And we use 2 booms and 1 H stand. So what we do now is we basically just like run into the lighting instruments and we select like everything we need. So we get our source 4. We use the most source 4. So we'll start with the source 4 and you'll chuck it in there. And then you'll go down and we use 12 ramas. So we'll get the rama next. And then we used 6 par cans, which is like the next most. So we'll get the par can. I think that's right. Yeah. And then what do we use next most of? Oh, we use one of the 4 other things. So we can just, well, typically what you do then is go, like if you've got the same amount, the hierarchy of the keys, you start with your conventionals and up the top is the thing you've used the most of. And then you go down by how much you've used it. And then you start with your intelligent stuff, like your par 150 that's there. And then your hazer and your hex bars and stuff like that. And then you do stuff like your projector or like any like special little tidbits you've got in the plan. And then you do stuff like your H stands and your booms or your extra rigging stuff or your set pieces rigged from the ceiling or whatever. So yeah, we've got that. And then I think we'll just do whatever. We'll do one of these. Doesn't really matter. I might just stop here and like, it's really, do this. This isn't everything, but like, we'll just use this as a base. So yeah, I like to come down here then and sort of like make everything look sort of like clean and symmetrical as it runs down the line. It's not perfectly snapped, but like, you know. And then we come over here and make a new text and say 13 times. Make that a bit bigger and bold it. And then we chuck that up here and use the snap tool to get it in line with the source 4, and then we copy paste. And we bring the next one down to the center of the rama and snap that there and change that to 12. And then you copy and paste that, and then bring that down to the parkend and snap that there on the line and say 6 and so on. You get what I mean. And then at the end, you get rid of that line, and then it looks all like professional and clean and gridded, and like you care about what you're doing. And Karen will be like, "Oh, they care about what they're doing." HD. And then bring this next line here, and then select the text again, and then just write, what is it? Like a strand source for 25 to 50 degree. So that's just saying what it is. Select the middle of that, get it in line with the number and the source for, and bring it over to that line, and then copy paste. Just bring it down here, and then write Silicon 1K Rama, which is the next thing we use the most of, and then snap that there, and then bring it there, and yada yada, and then like keep doing that. So you'd like par 64, axle acclaim for like 24 to 40 degree, par 150, zoom, LED, whatever. Like you just say what it is, and you don't have to like some of these lights have like fucking 1,000 names, but like you can just say the basics. Like this is literally called like the Showline par zoom 150 LED can RGBW. Like it's so long, it doesn't matter. Just call it a fucking like, 150 LED par. That's perfect. And yeah, and like then you down the bottom you get your boom, and you like say that's not what I meant. You bring this down and just say 2, and then like maybe get rid of the actual label on the symbol. And then so like this, and bring that down, and put it basically there. But yeah, you do all of that for everything. In an actual plan, when you're using, like 10 different types of conventional lights and 3 different types of intelligent lights and a projector and booms and H-stands, like this can get pretty crammed, but like you can just push everything up a bit and it'll fit. And you can always like, make that really tiny, make it a really short, fat boom for the key if you have to. You can do shit like that. Doesn't really matter. Karen will look at it and be like, that's the boom. Therefore, this is also the boom. It fucking says boom. Is there any other questions? Like, is there anything you guys don't think I've covered? I'll show you the next thing. And then I can show you some old plans and like other examples of things. But yeah. So that's all about like making a lighting plan. The next like important thing is like exporting it as a PDF to then send to Karen. So I'm just gonna quickly make a few different types. Oh no, this is it. We can like do this. I'll share the screen and then we'll come back. Yeah, this will be a bit of a fuck around, but it's worth it. So when you want to make a PDF, you go up to File, and you go to Export, and you want to export it as a PDF. So you hit Export PDF, PDF format, resolution 3, yada yada yada. Yeah, so this is the basic like exporting sort of features. You can see this window, right, guys? Sick. Okay. So yeah, you'd hit Export, and then it'll let you like name it. So let's just call it, I don't know, Anatomy version 1, simple export. So we'll save that to the desktop, and then that might yeet me to the desktop. Yeah, it did. Let me put you guys over here. Let me just stop this share, and I'll share you with the PDF. So we'll stop the share of Vectorworks, and now we'll come over to is that it? That is it. So yeah, now this is the PDF. So we've got the PDF here. It's nice and all there. And like you'd send this off. Obviously you'd send your nice, clean, pretty version of your final plan off to Karen, and then she'd mark you. Now you will notice something though, because we're all working with the educational version, when you export it like this, the little watermark will stay in the bottom. I despise this watermark. I think it just ruins like all of this work. You've done all this beautiful work on your Vectorworks and you've got this shit little watermark up the top and the bottom. I hate it. So, let me just quickly let me go back into Vectorworks and I'll show you how I export it and how you guys should export it to make it look that bit nicer and that bit more professional. So go into Vectorworks. So, also are there any tools that I've missed that are like pretty good? This one up here, so you can zoom in and out, and then if you hold shift and you're using two fingers, you can like move around and then zoom in for certain things. And like, that's always good to know when you're working really quickly. I hope that made sense. Say you're like zoomed in on something, but you just want to get a good look at everything. You can go up to that little magnifying glass on the page and click that, and it'll shoot you back to like the whole document. And like, if you accidentally zoom like out of the universe and can't see it anymore, you can click back in and it'll shoot you back in. So yeah, now the way I export it to a PDF is this way. So you go up to File and you go to Export PDF, and you come in here. Let me just pull this over here. So yeah, format, I make the, I can't remember what this stands for, but it's like the resolution. I always make it 500, not T500, lol. And then export range, you don't do export the whole printable area as one page, you do current view. So you hit current view and you go export. And let's just, I can't even remember, let's just call it that. I don't fucking know, doesn't matter. So let me get that PDF up for you now. Stop share, and then share screen, preview. So now we've got this, and the watermark is like outside of the actual document. So what you can do now on your preview or whatever you use on a like Windows PC, I would not know. You come up here and you'd find your crop tool, and you just like crop from the like actual page, and then crop it. And now it's like you've paid for Vectorworks. You've paid the thousands of dollars for Vectorworks and you're using the professional version. And it looks very nice and proper and clean and fancy, So yeah, now we've got that. So that's the way I would export it, just to make it that bit nicer. There's nothing worse than having, especially like if you've exported it and the watermark's like on the actual document, that can be not just like visually annoying, like it can actually like fuck with things if you've got lights there or whatever. So it's good to just do this and like, make a habit of doing this. I suppose now I might try and just quickly look for an old plan I did. Here we go. It's on Vectorworks. That's helpful. So this is an old plot I did last year for a show. It's just loading. You guys can see this, right?
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, okay. I can walk you through some other sort of things. Where am I going to put you guys? I'll put you over here. Okay. So this is a SIP I designed last year. So it was like 3 shows sort of in the same rig. And like I threw the whole kitchen sink at it. I don't know. I wanted to have some fun. And yeah, you can see my key over here. Like there's so many symbols and they're all like really tightly packed in. And I've included this thing down the bottom, and like, I would urge you guys to include something like this, just like to show that you're putting in the effort. You can add in like a color call. So you can sort of say like the colors you're using and what size cut you need and how many you need of each size for the particular color. I think, let me just like, I suppose for sizes, yep. So the sizes we've got here are can, Rama, Source 4, PC, and Hex. So like the can size is the biggest size, and that only goes in par cans. So these ones over here, like the par 64s, the Rama size, they go in like the Ramas and the 1.2K Fresnels, and they also go in, well, I should have told you guys about these lights, but there's these things called Pacifics. So you've got these types of lights, and there's like a wide angle one and a narrow angle one, and in the wides, in the narrows they use a Rama size, and the narrows are the ones without the mark, I believe. So one of these types uses the Rama size as well. And then the Source 4 size, that is for the Source 4 for the other type of Pacific, with the mark or without the mark. I don't fucking know. You know, you'll figure it out. And what else uses the Source 4? I'm pretty sure some other things use Source 4. Like, actually, they don't long. And then you've got your PC, which is your Pebble Convex. They go in your little tiny lights. Like, I don't think I have any on here actually, but they go in like the 650 PC, like that little one we had on the H stand before. And they go in the Acclaims that we had making the James special. And then I had like cuts of frost for a hex bar. 4 hex bars, I should say. But like, putting color on hex bars, don't really worry about that. I was just being very extra. So yeah, a little bit about this design. Yeah, I've got like I have some specials for some people denoted. So this was a Hannah special. Also, this is like my little symbol for an iris. So like just tighten in the beam angle of the light. There's no like proper symbol for it. So I just make it with shapes. You can see over here, I've got my Source 4 iris symbol and my Source 4 gobo symbol. And my Rama barn door symbol, because it's easier, honestly, to just draw like a trapezium and paste it on top of the Fresnel than it is to find the symbol and go around and put it on. Like, that can get really tedious. But I don't know, like, I wouldn't worry about putting barn doors on your plans, because like typically most Ramas have barn doors on them anyway. So like every Rama in this drawing, like all of these 1.2Ks and all of these 1Ks would have barn doors on them, except like the ones in the middle that like don't need to be shuttered off from the back wall of the front of the stage or like the side walls. So like, it doesn't really matter. We had a mic like rigged in the space. So like I would just denote that there and like put a little circle around it. And then like, we'd have the mic special there, like saying where it would hit. We had a news special like hitting over here. We had these shimmer boards and like some Source 4s hitting them and making this nice like ripple effect on the stage. We had house lights. It's good to include house lights. I don't think they're on my like base generic drawing, but you can just draw in like a symbol like this for your house lights. They usually go channel 60 because they're conventional and you just put them last. Sorry about that I didn't put that in the drawing line, but you guys can do that. A little bit of extra work. I had these giant booms with 12 park hands on each of them on the sides. Looked stunning. It was beautiful. Some of my best work. I'm amazing.
It did look lovely.
I hate myself. But yeah, yeah, like that would be, this is like not to toot my own horn, but like this is a example of an exemplary design that's really clear and like everything makes sense and like it's got everything that Kara needs to know to understand it. And like down here, you can see it's version 3. Like this was the 3rd like version of it. I'd updated it throughout the rehearsal process. It was called Contusion. Fucking god awful name. God awful set of shows, honestly. Except one. One of them was all right. That was the day. Then designed by me.
Yeah, watch your mouth.
UOW for space. Yada yada yada. You know that. So yeah, that would be like, that's a example of like an exemplary design. So yeah, just key things to remember, like make your label legends big and clear, like symbolize like specials and like any like mics or furniture or set pieces or whatever you're having in your show. Color code it, make the key really clean, include a color call if you like can be asked to do it. It's worth it. It always makes it look that little bit better and makes it a lot clearer to the person like interpreting the drawing. And then that's like basically it for Vectorworks. Like if, yeah, I suppose some other little tidbits to know would be like some hotkeys like that are always useful. Say you're like down here and you're doing stuff and you don't want to continuously be going back here between like text and line and shit like that. Like if you learn literally just a few basic hotkeys, like 1 is the select tool. X. Oh, why is it? Okay. No, X. X is the mouse. Like X is select. If you hit 1, that's text. Like if you hit 2. Oh, ambulance just went by. If you hit 2, yeah. If you hit 1, that's text. If you hit 2, that's a line. So you can just draw a line. 3, I've never used the arc tool. Don't plan on starting now. 4 is a rectangle. I'm pretty sure 6 is a circle. What's 5? Oh, 5 is like drawing like funny shapes. Woo! Suppose you can do shit like that if you want to draw like, I don't know. And then you hit escape to like, or like end it there, yeah. Hideous. So yeah, like it's good to learn things like that. Like it's nice if you're just in here and you know you like want to draw like a rectangle and then you want to like label what it is, like rectangle. You know, it's fun for that sort of shit. So yeah, I suppose we could like, I could show you guys like some gel colors. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Well, I'll
I
just
just
show you.
want to learn from the guru.
Sounds good.
I'll show you stuff that like Karen typically uses in her designs and UOW uses in their designs, and we have a lot of like in our gel stock. Let me just. So yeah. Ooh. Color filters. Let me end this screen share and then let me start one on Google Chrome. So yeah, we generally deal with Lee colors. And Lee has like a site where they put all their colors on, which is great. So so when it comes up, it usually comes up in its chroma, which is like color coding it, but it's best to do numeric. And like, I don't know if Kaz has shown you like little swatch books. I could actually quickly run and grab, oh no, it doesn't, it's a Roscoe one, it doesn't fucking matter. But like, if you get a gel book, they usually come either chromatically or numerically. Numeric ones are better, in my opinion, because like they like order everything by like the color that by the number that the color is, not the color the color is. And it's just easier when you're working. So important colors to know. Well, let's do our primary colors. So like you've got your primary red, which is 106. I think 120 is considered your primary blue. There's like a few different blues that you could call primary, but like deep blue is it. And then I think 139 is primary green. Yeah. So like those are your primary colors. They're a bit boring and like, you know, stock standard, but they get the job done. They're good. There's a reason they're primary. I would say the most important colors are your color corrections, which is like, you know, when you put on like a conventional light and the bulb is like really warm and gross. The filters you put into that to like if you ever go see a show at like a proper theater and the lights come up and like they're beautifully white and professional and pristine and clean and everyone looks beautiful and like fucking Robin Nevin at STC looks like she's $1 million because the lighting designer knows how to make her look pretty. Like, yeah, the colors you use for that sort of stuff are like your 200 through 203. So those are your color temperature blues. And then you've got your color temperature oranges from 204 through to 208. UOW doesn't really use them much, but like they're used a fair bit in the professional world, like for if you want like a nice, clean, warm color to your light. So yeah, 200 is double CTB, which is like double color temperature blue. So it's this really deep blue corrective white light. Like it just makes everything, it's really good to make things look like you're putting on a show at the Sydney Theatre Company, basically. It makes things look really like spooko and atmospheric. And like, if you have a 200 top light and like a nice warm light hitting them, people just look great. Like it just makes people look beautiful. And then you've got your full CTB, which is just like one color temperature blue, which is 201. And that makes the light look really like white and pristine. 202 is the next one down. The beauty of 202 is that when you have it at a low level, it makes the light look quite warm. But if you bring it to full temperature, it's almost the same as 201 in that it's really white and pristine. So it's a great like middle ground if you want to be able to like light people sort of low and warm or like really high and bright and like cool. 203 is just a really piss weak like color temperature blue. It basically, the light will still show up really warm, but it just takes that edge off a little bit. I still like it. It's a pretty nice color. And then, yeah, you've got your color temperature oranges, you know, like that makes something really orange, and that makes something half orange, and that makes something quarter orange, and that makes something like really fucking orange. Another good color temperature blue is 283. It's 1.5 CTB. So that's like in the middle of 201 and 200. We don't use that at all at UOW, but it's a really nice color. But maybe steer clear of using that. So yeah, you've got your like color temperature blues that are really important. And then what else is really good are your 500s, which is like Lee. It's basically, you know how like Coke had new Coke in the 80s? Lee brought out like new like color temperature blue, but like it's not shit. It's good. So like basically 500 is like 200 but a little less blue. 501 is 201 but a little less blue. 502 is a little like 202 but like a little less blue. So it's like basically just taking a little bit of the coolness out of the 200 series. And like I personally like this more than the 200 series. I think Kaz is a bit more old school and she likes the 200s more. They're both acceptable. I would just say like when you're doing your facials, you typically use like 501 or 502 or 201 or 202, and then your top light with your ramas and your side light, you'd probably use like 500 or 501 or 200 or 201. So like you want a cooler like top light and a warmer facial. That's not a rule that's like written in blood or anything, but like conventional like designs are usually following that sort of like dichotomy of having a cooler top light and backlight and a hotter like front light. So those are like really the only like super important colors. Maybe what color is the Hampshire Frost? Maybe I'll just go to Roscoe to show you the frost. But there's these things called frosts, which are lighting gels that like diffuse the beam of the light. So like say you've got a source 4 on and the edge is really hard and it's this really like hard cut circle. If you put a frost in it, it'll like diffuse the edge of it and make it look like a little bit more smooth and nice and pretty and professional, yada, yada, yada. And it's also good when you put a frost in like a facial, it'll diffuse the light when it hits someone's face. So you won't get like really hard shadows or like just really like, you know, in your face lighting. You'll get this nice, like beautiful, like dewy, like look on the face. Like it's like someone's rubbed Vaseline in your eyes. So you're looking at this really like, you know, smooth, beautiful, like soap opera-esque thing on stage. Yeah. And then, yeah, I suppose like, I don't know, some personal favorites of mine, like some fun colors are like rose pink, 002, gold amber, 021, love a bit of 116, medium blue green, love 079, 071, Tokyo blue. Mwah. She's beautiful. There's these great, where's chocolate? Chocolate, this is disgusting. It makes things look so gross and warm and like someone's like pissed on the stage. It's gross, but like it's great. It's great when you need to make the stage look disgusting. What else? Forest green's nice. All these, sodium is like chocolate, but like worse. It's literally like someone like smeared shit on the stage. Like it's disgusting, but it's, once again, it's really useful for certain things you want to do on stage. Urban sodium's really nice. It's like this really deep, saturated, like gross orange. It's great for like wanting, like making everything look on fire. Like it's great for that. And high sodium is nice for that too. 799 is like a UV equivalent light. Like, so if you want to make a conventional light output near UV light, you'd use 799. And that's always a nice color to use. So yeah, those are some colors that I like using. And then, yeah, like I don't know if they even have frosts here. Maybe they do. They do. So we have one Lee frost and like 2 or 3 Roscoe frosts. So this one Lee frost, I got Alistair to buy it last year. It's really nice. It's really strong. It's called Hampshire Frost 253. I don't think Karen's a big fan of it. She prefers Roscoe 132 or Roscoe 119. 132 is like a nice subtle frost, and 119 is a bit stronger. And then Hampshire Frost is that bit stronger. But Kaz prefers the Roscoe 119 and 132. So like, yeah, like in your facials, you'd probably put like 119, and then like if you've got a top light that you want to diffuse, you put in 132 or whatever. You'd probably steer clear of Hampshire Frost, unless you were like, I don't know, a crazy bitch like me and was like, let's just make everything so diffused that like you can't tell where the light's coming from. I can't really think of much else. Those are the basics.
Good stuff.
Yeah, that was great.
Thank you. My pleasure. I don't know if Kaz is going to watch this, but if not, say hi for me.
Will do.
Gonna go have a dart. I'll stop this and like.
You've been holding out, have you?
Huh?
You should have moved outside. We could have done one.
It's pouring outside. It's like buckling. It's like bucketing down in Sydney. It's crazy.
Mm.
But I've got my umbrella, so I'll pop out after this. But yeah, hopefully this, like, you know, properly encodes and like uploads, and I've got a file, because I heard the people doing the Shopfront show at the moment, like, and they were doing like a Zoom like halfway showing of it, and they like did a 30-minute run of it, and then the director like ended the call and it went to upload and it didn't work, it corrupted. So then she had to call them all up and be like, hey guys, we have to like run the show again this afternoon.
Oh no.
So if this doesn't fucking upload, I'm not doing this again, and you guys can pass this information on. Have fun. I hope it uploads, but I don't fucking know. And then, I don't know, I guess I can put it on YouTube, like on a private thing.
Yeah.
Or like Daily Motion.
Transfer or something.
But yeah, I'll do that this afternoon and just let it sit here while I work. I hope it works.
Fabulous.
I'll stop the recording now, actually.
Yeah.